Welcome to the show, Outliers Show, and your host Rizwan Rashid is here tonight with another outlier. And that outlier is going to defy some of the things you probably have heard. And I'm going to start with one of my friends saying that we know creation is bringing into existence without analysis, comparison, or evaluation. And you might have heard this phrase that follow your dreams. But my guest tonight says, do not follow your dreams. In fact, chase them with everything in your heart. Yes, you're probably now kind of feeling the vibe of our show. We also know the authors are creators, and in my opinion, creators are the outliers. With that, I want to welcome my guest tonight here, who's an author, who's a most sought out motivational speaker in North America and CEO of Claim Your Destiny Enterprises. My friend, my brother, Sugar Ray Destin Jr. Welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you for having me today, Rizwan. It's an absolute pleasure to be here. How are you today?
I am perfectly fine, and I'm looking forward to have this conversation going on because I love your quotation about following dreams, but not also by walking with them with everything you got. And this is kind of setting us apart. Sugar Ray, I know you a little bit because you are an amazing author. You have following your dreams, as well as you are actually giving platform for other authors. But we want to talk all about it. I want to start with, as my decorum of shows states, how do you describe yourself as an outlier?
Absolutely. So if you look at statistics, the statistics say, well, about it. For I grew up in Houston, and growing up in Houston as an African American male, you hear three phrases all the time. By the time you're 18, you're either going to be in jail, you're going to be dead, or you're going to be back on the streets. Well, here's how I broke that trend. I actually never went to jail. I'm not dead, obviously, right? And not still on the streets. So I actually graduated top 10% of my class and went to college on a full academic scholarship to a top 5 university, the University of Texas at Austin. And here's where the funny part is. I'm 6'7", never played a lick of college ball. So you put that together.
So you already defy the norms and you becoming an outlier by actually standing out and doing what you really wanted to do instead of following or fitting into the status quo, what was perceived as.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I definitely I realized somebody said it this way, most people try to fit into the box, but if you're going to be an outlier, if you're going to be a game changer, then you have to realize that there is no box, and sometimes you have to create your own. So that's the philosophy that I've always lived by.
I love that. I love that. Create your own. Now, it must started from an opportunity that just created that vision, mission, or new trajectory for you. What was that? When was the first thing? What was the first opportunity that made you a speaker, author, publisher, and more often that you become creating a whole platform for others? Where did it all started?
It all started back in 2010, and actually it goes way before 2010, but 2000. So I go back to 2006, right? I had one of those moments that most entrepreneurs, most speakers, most people have, and it was like, you know what? I'm not fulfilling my purpose. I'm working a normal 9 to 5. This isn't where I want to be. There's so much potential. I've done so much work before. What am I supposed to be doing? And so I had a conversation with my higher power, and I said, God, what am I supposed to be doing? He said, start writing. And when I started writing it, all these things started coming to me: youth programs, after school programs, author, motivational speaker. I'm supposed to be helping others. And I did what most people do in the very beginning. I ran. I absolutely ran because I said, wait a minute, this is way too big for me. You can't be talking to me, little old me. And he said, yeah. So I want to say 2 years later, I actually started going to Toastmasters to perfect my speaking. become a better speaker. After a few years, I realized, wait a minute, I want to actually get outside of just, these walls of this organization. It's a safe place for me to speak, and I'm comfortable now. Bumped into an old friend from college, and he was passing out his flyers, passing out his information. And at the very bottom it said motivational speaker. Now he's highly celebrated, has done a lot of things. But when I saw that motivational speaker, I was like, ding, let me connect these dots. So I stopped what I was doing, ran, chased him down, and he said, here's what I have for you. He said, this Thursday, and I want to say this was a Saturday. He said, Thursday, I have an event. I'm going to be speaking to some youth at the JJAEP, which is the Juvenile Justice Alternative Education Program here in Austin. And he said, I have an hour-long presentation. I give you 10 minutes. He gave me 10 minutes to give those kids what I had. I shared my story. I shared my passion. I told them how they could be anything that they wanted to, that they were just one decision away from being on the right path and being their best selves. From that 10 minutes, it actually gave me more opportunities. But at the end of it, we did what we always do, and that was a debrief. He said, man, that was great. He said they were engaged. The kids were into it. The administrators were into it. What can you leave behind with them? I said, what do you mean? He said, do you have any training materials? Do you have any CDs, any DVDs, you have a website? I was like, this is my first event. What do you mean? He said, well, you got to have something that you can leave behind with them. And I said, I don't have any training DVDs. I don't have the stuff but I do write poetry. He said, nah. He said, poems aren't going to be the key to get you in there. He said, one poem is not gonna leave an audience on fire. He said, I said, well, I can write a book. He said, cool, that works. I said, I have it to you in 2 weeks. That 2 weeks, when I first said it, he kind of chuckled. That 2 weeks turned into 5 years, right? July 13th, 2015 is when I actually published my book. And that was May 6th of 2010 when we actually had the idea. And so that's what started the spark in me. But that one speaking engagement, that 10-minute speaking engagement, he taught me how to put all the things together, your one sheet, your speaker kit, your put the website and just have information for the people. And like I said, that 10 minutes has actually taken me around the country speaking. But when I published my book, that has actually taken me even further to even more opportunities, because now there's a platform that I can stand firmly on, and it allows me to help others as well.
Wow, ladies and gentlemen, if you are just listening to us, you just witnessed that just 10 minutes changed life for Sugar Ray, and it could have done for you. All you have to do is take the courage to step forward for that opportunity that comes in different shapes and form in front of you. By Sugar Ray, you were destined. You were looking for this opportunity. You were looking for one way out, that you present yourself, your heart, your story, and that actually connected because that was right coming from it. So for benefit of my viewers, now they wanted to know, how did you find that courage? Because most often we come across opportunities, but we do not have that courage to do so. So your mentor, your coach said, go, you have 10 minutes to do this. Were you prepared? Were you nervous? Were you scared? What was happening in your mind?
All of that. I was prepared because, like I said, I spent 2 years in Toastmasters practicing speaking, and I've kind of gotten into being able to speak off the cuff, but I also have a few canned speeches that they're ready. Was I nervous? Absolutely. I'm going in, and in my mind, when I first heard the opportunity, again, Juvenile Justice Alternative Education Program, I'm thinking these are going to be the kids that you see on TV with the chains on their necks, or with just this thuggish nature. And when I got in there, it was like, these are just kids. These are some of the sweetest kids that you will ever meet, that just made one bad decision. Was I anxious? Absolutely. When I first started speaking, everything inside of me was turning. It was, what if they don't like me? What if they don't want to listen to me? What if I don't connect with them? What if all these what ifs? But then there was this piece that filled me, and it was, if you don't do it now, then who will? And if you don't take this opportunity, then it's going to go away to another. And this may be that one opportunity that takes you to where you're going. You've been asking for this. Now step into the pocket and make it happen.
When I'm listening to you, I already feel that energy, that passion. I'm looking through your eyes to those kids when you first saw them, and that ignited your passion, and that you took that passion to the next level. So my kind of a connecting question to that is that that opportunity opened doors for you, new avenues for you. And we already know where you are now, but for the viewers who don't know you, who are listening to us right now, tell us where you are now, or how did it open new doors, new avenues for you for that 10-minute talk and talking from your heart, changing the mindset of you and others. What opened doors for you for now?
Absolutely. When I gave the speech, the people that were there, they knew other people who were in the system and who were educators and who were at rec centers in the area. And so I started doing more and more speaking, which gave me confidence because people started calling, people started asking about me. And that gave me more and more confidence to go to different places. And then along the way, I learned how to leverage those opportunities to get to, out of state opportunities. That program actually impacted, I want to say it impacted hundreds of kids here in Central Texas, because we started at rec centers and then moved it over to schools and had programs at, I want to say, at 5 different schools throughout the past 5 years. That started in 2014. Right. So that's one way that opportunity leveraged, because by giving me the exposure to speak across the country.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are watching Outliers Show. Your host, Rizwan Rashid. But we have Sugar Ray, who is sharing his opportunity with 10 minutes spending in front of the people, and now as a publisher who is giving opportunities to other people, making this new platform of Outliers. Keep watching Outliers Show. Welcome back. Welcome back to the Outlier Show. Your host, Rizwan Rashid, and my guest, Sugar Ray Destin Jr. from Austin, Texas. And we were talking about where we are coming from and how he's actually capitalizing on opportunity. And he just shared an amazing success story and how he changed other people's lives, and how that snowball effect happening in his community and communities across the board. Now, we wanted to ask you, this is where I wanted to ask you that you already kind of answered it. How do you give other people more opportunities now? But I know you have a lot more to share besides your speaking on this. You have this business of books where you share other people and help them to publish. So would you be able to share some?
Absolutely. So the Business of Books Mastermind Program is a community where we actually teach people how to publish their books, but also how to understand the different streams of income that come from writing and publishing your first book. So I guess we'll start with how it actually came to be. So the story that I shared with you about Tierra Michelle goes back to July. I'm going to go back to July 13th, 2015, when I actually finalized my first book, right? Well, when I finalized my first book, I had that feeling that most new authors have, because I had this brand new box of books with my work inside of it, right? And I'm sitting across the room from this amazing 7-year-old young man at the time. And he looks at me with this gleam, this pride, this excitement in his eyes. And he says, Dad, he says, when I get older, I want to be an author and a speaker too. Because he had saw what I had already been through from such a young age to where he was. And so we started working. 2017, April 2017, that 7-year-old was now a 9-year-old. And we published his first book, Zayden's Awesome Adventures. Which is
that's good.
Which is available like everywhere on all platforms. It's even available at Walmart.com. Go figure that one out, right?
Wow.
And as of 2018, let's continue the timeline. 2018, summer 2018, I took him on his first official book tour. We went to 4 cities here in Texas: Austin, San Antonio, Houston, and there was like 2 stops in Austin. One in Central Austin and one in South Austin. And so that was his book tour. As we did his book tour, there were a lot of people who were like, wait a minute, this 10-year-old is sitting in front of me with his book. You wrote this? He's like, yeah, I wrote the book, you know? And so that was 2018 when he was 10. When he was 11, he actually had his first paid speaking engagement where he spoke to a group of he spoke to a group of 4th graders about being an author and about them chasing their dreams. So everything I do is about legacy, right? Now, the 16-year-old came to me because she saw, one, that I was a published author, but also that my son was published. That same year is when she published her book, is when we actually started the Business of Books Mastermind program. Because a lot of people kept asking me, hey, you know, I want to write a book. And in the back of my mind, again, I'm going back to 2010 to present day. And I've seen, as a result of not just having a book, it created opportunities and opened up different doors for me to do different things. One being the youth program, because the youth program was titled after my first book, the Claim Your Destiny Youth Leadership Program, right? It also allowed me to see more speaking engagements. And I saw it firsthand of people don't always have the opportunity to pay for a speaker. But guess what? Every company, every business, every school, every organization has a budget for it, and it's actually a tax write-off. Educational materials, right? So again, that was another opportunity. So the more people kept coming to me, and it was like, I want to write a book. And I was like, what's your plan after that? And they were like, what do you mean? You know, because that's most of us, we want to write a book. And the statistic is 90% of the people in the world actually want to write a book. Only 1% ever will. And it's that 1% that goes on to become published authors, because a lot of people write, but they never put it together to actually publish it. And so we started the program July 30th of 2018. So it's been around for 2 years, and we've helped over 50 people become published authors, and showed them the business behind their books. Because once again, the opportunities that come from writing a book is not just that book, but there's if you're writing a nonfiction book or a self-help or a motivational book, then you probably want to write yourself a workbook to go along with it. Because if you're like me, you read a good book and it's like, oh, this is great. You close it and then put it aside. But if there's a book that comes with a workbook, guess what you're going to do? You're going to work through that workbook, and that's that action, that hands-on, gives people a chance to grow from the interior of it.
Sugar Ray, you are exuding authority, especially in terms of book and creating that legacy, as well as being a publisher of right from the start to finish line. You actually share all that aspect of it. You actually know everything about this book, talking, and then also with your youth connectivity, you are actually giving a new platform for these young fellows. So, what about the income stream? You said there's another income stream. I believe you wanted to ask a book sales along with that, a training program and speaking program, and that kind of connected with creating a new income stream for them.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's look at a book in terms of income, right? Most books these days you're looking at, if you're self-published. Let's say you publish your book for $20. Now let's do the math. If you want to go out and make $100,000, obviously you've got to sell 5,000 books, right?
Correct.
Is it impossible? No. But is it going to be difficult? Yeah. If you're doing it one by one by one by one, right? Because if I go to Rizwan and say, Rizwan, would you buy one book? And he's like, yeah, I just sold $20. But if I create something that is a little bit pricier, basically you follow the sales ladder. So there's the book, which gets people, it whets people's appetite. So if somebody is willing to purchase that book from you for $20, then guess what? If you have that workbook that goes for 15, most people, if they're supporting you, they're going to support you at 35 instead of at 20, because now 20 to 35, you just shorten the curve for you to get to 100,000, because now instead of selling 5,000, you only have to do about 3,600 of those, well, maybe 3,750 of those units. But here comes the next step. What if you created a program that helps people to grow from it, right? And that program can range anywhere from $97 to, depending on your level of expertise, you can sell it for as much as $99.97, $9,997. That just changed a $20 book into a $10,000 unit, right? Because you're working with high-end clients, you're working with high-level people who are willing, based on your expertise, to learn from you, to grow from you. Let's go even further than that. If you are a speaker, based on your book, again, a normal speaking fee starts around 1,000, depending on how much expertise, depending on how high level of a speaker you are. Because some speakers get paid, if you're looking at a Tony Robbins, he's probably getting paid $1 million per event, right, to come out and speak. But if you're looking at somebody who's brand new, it's going to be about 1,000. If you're a celebrity, if you're a celebrity or an expert in your field, you can command a minimum of 2,500 to about 10,000. That's at the minimum. You set your fees because, again, this was your blood, your sweat, your tears, and your energy that you've put into becoming the expert, the absolute expert in your field. Now, if you charge $10,000, don't go out and deliver $5 worth of information, because, again, you will never get another speaking opportunity ever, because you didn't bring it. But if you charge 10,000, then make sure that they can walk away with something as an attendee in your audience, right? And at the same time, always remember to set your table up in the back that has access, if they allow you to. Be very respectful of the person who brought you in to speak. But if they allow you to, ask if there's a way that you can set up a merch table where you can also sell your other products, mainly your book, to attendees. And if attendees want, they can come to your table and get an autographed copy of the information that you put in to that one book. So there's so many streams of income that come from just one book. So once we get out of our way, we create opportunities for ourselves and we create opportunities for others.
Beautiful. That's what we call conventional wisdom. That looking from all avenues. And Sugar Ray, you are really putting it out there, helping other people kind of follow their dreams, but follow their dreams with everything you got. right? Because there's nothing shortcoming in this life in order to be an outlier. And I love the word that you keep bringing in, that you are making other outliers out there. So Sugar Ray, how do people connect with you? Where do you find you? How they can reach out to you?
Absolutely. I make it very simple for people to reach out to me. Everything is my full name. It's at SugarRaydestin. So there's two R's in there, and Destin, just like the city in Florida. At Sugar Ray Destin, whether you be on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, you name it, I'm there.
Right.
The main places to connect with me are probably going to be on LinkedIn and on Facebook.
Okay.
And definitely go to the website, www.sugarraydestin.com.
Okay, so where they will be able to see all your programs and how you can connect and help them. So ladies and gentlemen, if you wanted to reach out to Sugar Ray Destin, start from, in my opinion, sugarraydestin.com, as well as the social media handles either in LinkedIn or Facebook, where he's more active and will be able to respond to you. I want to declare you as an outlier.
Thank you so much, man. And it's been an absolute pleasure, man. If I can offer something to your viewers, if they are interested and they do have that idea, then I would love to set up that one-on-one 15-minute discovery call, because a lot of people have to get past their own selves. And what I mean by that is, you may have the idea for the book. After that 15-minute call, we can show you how to turn that book into your actual business.
Ah, beautiful.
And that's going to be on the website.
Awesome. Sugar Ray, we are coming to the end of show. What would an inspirational message you leave our audience with tonight?
Absolutely. So one thing, as you said, my philosophy is, don't follow your dreams, chase them with everything in your heart. And what I mean by that is, if you have a dream that was placed in your heart, it was given to you, and specifically you, for a reason. There's a special set of skills. There's a special set of tools that you already have. There's things that you've already been through and experiences that nobody else has lived through. And if you are willing to get out of your own way and go all in with everything that you have, here's what's going to happen. That first step is probably going to be the most difficult, because it's you getting past you. Your biggest enemy is usually the person that you see when you look in the mirror. You can get past that person. You can get past anything. As you begin to progress, what's going to happen is that there will be people who come along who have the expertise, who have the knowledge, and who will help you along that journey. It's just a matter of you getting past you. And once they see that you are willing to put in the work, there's absolutely nothing, and I mean nothing, in this world that is impossible for you. You just have to be willing to put in the work and dream with everything that you got.
Powerful. He is living by his code. This is Sugar Ray Destin Jr., our guest tonight, and I love you to connect with him. And if you are an inspired author looking to see how I can get together, this would be the right person to connect with. Keep watching Outliers Show, coming out live on cable TV and IPTV all over Canada and North America, because we are looking for all the outliers who are out there capitalizing on their opportunities and helping other people to showcase more opportunities and changing the world one person at a time. You are an outlier. You need to capitalize on this opportunity. Come forward and let's share your story as well. Thank you, Sugar Ray, for having, gracing your presence here tonight.
Thank you so much for having me, brother. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Awesome. Thank you, folks. Until next time, see you. Bye.